Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2025, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 78 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns and Viksit Bharat 2047 in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are celebrating International Day of Nonviolence on 2nd October every year. As quoted by Mahatma Gandhi, nonviolence is not a garment to be put on and off at will. The seat is in the heart. And it must be inseparable part of our being. There is no way to peace. Peace is the way. Nonviolence is a weapon of the strong. Nonviolence and truth are inseparable and presuppose one another. We may never be strong enough to be entirely nonviolent in thought, word, and deed, but we must keep nonviolence as our goal and make strong progress towards it. So say no to violence. The International Day of Non-Violence is observed on 2nd October, the birthday of Mahatma Gandhi, leader of the Indian independence movement and pioneer of the philosophy and strategy of non-violence. According to the General Assembly Resolution 61 by 271 of June 2007, which established the commemoration, the International Day is an occasion to disseminate the message of non-violence, including through education and public awareness. The resolution reaffirms the universal relevance of principle of non-violence and the desire to secure a culture of peace, tolerance, understanding, and non-violence. Introducing the resolution in the General Assembly on behalf of 140 co-sponsors, India's Minister of State External Affairs, Mr. Anand Sharma, said that the wide and diverse sponsorship of the resolution was a reflection of the universal respect for Mahatma Gandhi and the enduring relevance of his philosophy. Quoting the late leader's own words, he said, "Nonviolence is the greatest force at the disposal of mankind. It is mightier than the mightiest weapon of destruction devised by the ingenuity of man." So when we look at the background of this commemoration, the life and the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, Gandhi who helped lead India to independence, has been the inspiration for non-violent movements for civil rights and social change across the world. Throughout his life, Gandhi remained committed to his belief in non-violence even under oppressive conditions and in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges. The theory behind his actions, which included encouraging massive civil disobedience to British law, as with the historic Salt of March of 1930, was that just means lead to just ends. That is, it is the irrational to try to use violence to achieve a peaceful society. He believed that Indians must not use violence or hatred in their fight for freedom for colonization or colonialism. So, how do we define nonviolence? When we look at the definition of nonviolence, the principle of nonviolence, also known as nonviolence resistance, rejects the use of physical violence in order to achieve social or political change, often described as the politics of ordinary people. The form of social struggle has been adopted by mass populations all over the world in campaigns for social justice. Professor Jean Sharp, a leading scholar on nonviolent resistance, uses the following definition in the publication The Politics of Nonviolent Action. Nonviolent action is a technique by which people who reject passively and submission and who see struggle as essential can wage their conflict without violence. Nonviolent action is not an attempt to avoid, to ignore conflict. It is one response to the problems of how to act effectively in politics, especially how to wield powers ineffectively. So while nonviolence is frequently used as a synonym for pacifism, since the mid 20th century, the term nonviolence has been adopted by many movements for social change which do not focus on opposition to war. One key tenet of the theory of nonviolence is that power of rulers depends on the consent of the population, and the nonviolence therefore seeks to undermine such power through withdrawal of the consent and cooperation of the populace. So there are three main categories of nonviolent action: protest and persuasion, including marches and vigils, non-cooperation, and non-violent intervention, such as blockades and occupations. So say no to hate. Hate speech incites violence and intolerance. The devastating effect of hatred is hardly nothing new. However, its scale and impacts are now amplified by new communications technologies because fighting hatred, discrimination, racism, and inequality are among its core principles. The United Nations is working to comfort hate speech at every turn. You can too. Establishing a culture of peace and sustainable development are at the heart of UNESCO's mandate. Training and research in sustainable development are among the priorities, as well as human rights education, skills for peaceful relations, good governance, Holocaust remembrance, the prevention of conflict, and peace building. Today, we are also commemorating as Dashain in Bhutan and Nepal, which is a religious Hindu festival celebrated annually during the Hindu month of Kartik Masa between September and October in the Gregorian calendar. This year it will begin on October 2nd. The festival is celebrated by Hindus in Nepal and some parts of India and also in some parts of Bhutan and Myanmar. Also known as Vijayadashmi, Dashain is the biggest, most auspicious and the most anticipated festival of Nepal, lasting 15 days. It is the longest national public holiday in the country. Also called Vijayadashmi, Dashain is celebrated by Nepalese people both within and outside the country. Centered on the worship of goddess Durga, thousands of offerings and animal sacrifices are made. The significance of the festival is the triumph of good over evil, commemorating a victory of gods over the big ones. This is symbolized in the fabled victory of Durga over the demon Mahishasur, who terrorized the earth. Another popular story is the Ramayana, where Ram Lord Ram succeeded in slaughtering the demon king after evoking the name of Durga. There are 6 significant days, which are day 1, day 7, day 8, day 9, and day 10, and day 15. The first 9 days of the festival, known as Navratri, symbolize the 9 days of battle between Durga and the demon. On day 10, the demon was slain, and the final 5 days symbolize the victory celebrations in the honor of Durga as the divine mother goddess. During the preparations for festival, Nepalese people clean and decorate their homes, inviting Durga in so that she may bless and bring good fortune. The markets are usually busied by shoppers purchasing clothes, gifts, sweets, foodstuffs, and supplies to offer to gods. So Dashain symbolizes the triumph of good over evil. In our world, it often seems that evil deeds go unpunished, but in the end, good always prevails. Both within and outside the country, Dashain is celebrated by Hindus all over the world. It is a time for families to gather and spend time with one another. Aside from being a religious festival, Dashain is also ingrained into the culture of Nepal. There is no doubt that our culture and traditions make us who we are as individuals. Today is also commemorated as World Farm Animals Day on October 2nd. Which falls on October 2nd every year, has great significance as it sheds light and brings awareness regarding the abuse and maltreatment of animals. It makes us remember that millions of innocent animals have lost their lives at large factory farms. This day also aims to introduce regulations to fight for the equality of all animals, regardless of their life cycles. So, quality meat and related products can be obtained from healthy and well treated animals, though it can be completely avoided. And being vegan is a choice in this climate change induced society and to protect the environment and combat climate change. So, World Farm Animals Day is also known as World Day for Farmed Animals and is celebrated on the birthday of legendary spiritual leader and human rights activist Mahatma Gandhi. He said he believed all living beings needed to be treated equally and with respect and dignity, including animals of all kinds. This day was founded as part of International Farm Animal Rights Movement campaign in 1983. The day raises awareness regarding the prolonged suffering that the farm animals have been subjected to and also about their brutal slaughter. For the thousands of people who observe the day, the main goal is to encourage others to work on creating a compassionate world where animals are not treated as mere products. Over the centuries, billions of farm animals have been killed for food in massive factory farms and slaughtered houses worldwide. So if it's not all doom and gloom, there is a light of the end of the tunnel for these farm animals. A farming scheme approved by the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals of RSPCA was created and implemented around a quarter of century ago. It is a good solution for farmers who strive for higher animal welfare standards and also shoppers who want to support such welfare farming. Today, the movements like vegetarianism and veganism, animals and their rights are regularly put at the forefront. Today, such Conversations and actions concerning animal welfare and good treatment occur more frequently. The Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals is established in London to rescue and rehabilitate animals of all kinds across England and Wales in 1824. The Sam Peterson Trio records the song Old MacDonald Had a Farm, loosely based on Thomas Durfey's songs In the Fields in the Frost and Snow, for an opera called The Kingdom of the Birds of Wonders of the Sun in 1925. Temple Grandin, a scientist and an animal behaviorist, invents a conveyor restrainer system to make large beef slaughtering plants humane in 1980s. World Farm Animals Day is established to bring awareness to the excruciating pain and suffering of animals slaughtered for food, making difference since 1983. So the not-for-profit RSPCA approved animal farming scheme and it is launched Equal Farming for All 1996. The most common farm animals include goats, cows, chickens, rabbits, and pigs. Generally, beef cattle are most profitable and accessible livestock to raise for profit. Beef cattle only require good pasture, supplemented hay during the winter, clean water, regular vaccinations, and plenty of space to roam, which makes livestock most profitable. Factory farming can be very harmful to the animals as well as environments. For example, waste from such mega farms can pollute water, land, and air in surrounding communities. Many charities are geared up towards improving the lives of animals from all walks of life. Try and locate one near you that works towards helping farm animals or other animals. You can also make remote and online donations to help them, even in cash or kind. Find an animal sanctuary and take your kids for a visit. There you can learn about and help to take care of animals. Your kids can even pet and brush the animals. If you wish to show your devotion to the animal rights, try going vegetarian or even vegan. This way you won't carry around the guilt of eating meat from unregulated and poorly managed farms. Cutting out meat and other animal products will give you peace of mind as well. So go vegan or vegetarian. Cows will outnumber people soon with over 94 million cows in the US. There is approximately one cow for every three people. Chickens can communicate using over 200 different noises. Since pigs lack sweat glands, they must roll in mud to stay cool and avoid sunburn. A donkey's eyes are positioned to see all four of its feet, regardless of how it is standing. And donkeys have excellent vantage points. Cows are highly social creatures and form bonds with one another. So, through celebrations and gatherings and commemorations where animals and their rights are highlighted, people learn to react positively towards animals, and like pets, farm animals are some of the worst treated creatures on the planet and need our support. It transformed the farming industry in act to help improve the lives of farm animals. People and organizations are constantly working on the ways to improve their standards of living through technological innovation and drawing up new regulations for them. When people watch documentaries and television shows about the inhuman treatment of animals of all kinds, they are faced with the truth that prods them to become kind and sensitive towards animal suffering. It changes their perspective. Today is also commemorated as Lal Bahadur Shastri's birthday or birth anniversary on October 2nd, as he was born in 1904 in Mughal Sarai, United Province of India. He was the statesman and served as the second Prime Minister of India from 1964 to 1966. He was a big proponent of human rights and followed the teachings of Gandhi. During his term as Prime Minister, he led India in the Indo-Pakistan War of 1965, and he became famous for his slogan, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. Shastri died the day after the war ended in 1966 with a lot of controversial conclusions of his death. Lal Bahadur Shastri was born on October 2nd, 1904 in Mughal Sarai, United Province of India. He was a statesman. He was a big proponent of human rights, and Shastri studied at Kashi Vidyapith, Varanasi and graduated in 1925. He became the secretary of the local unit of the Congress Party in 1930, and he later moved on to become the president of Allahabad Congress Committee. He was a key figure in India's fight for independence from the British, and he led a campaign that urged people not to pay land revenue and taxes to the British. He was imprisoned by the British government in 1942 for his efforts. He used this time to read the works of social reformers and Western philosophers. He was elected to the UP Legislative Assembly in 1937. After India became an independent nation, Shastri became the Minister of Police in Ministry of Govind Vallabh Pant in Uttar Pradesh. He retired from the politics after a devastating train accident in the region, but returned in 1957 as the Minister for Transport and Communications later. He became the Ministry of Commerce and Industry in 1961. He formed the Committee on Prevention of Corruption. Shastri succeeded the first Prime Minister in 1964 and became the second Prime Minister of independent India. So Shastri led his nation to victory in the Indo-Pakistan War of 1965 and died the day after the war was ended in 1966. Shastri was always extremely calm under pressure, and many attributes this to the fact that he was follower of Nehruvian socialism even as India engaged in a violent war. He, uh, he kept his cool. Shastri contributed to the solutions to many problems like food shortage, unemployment, and poverty. He started the famous Green Revolution as well as in the White Revolution, which added in ending hunger and unemployment in India. Shastri was awarded India's highest civilian award after his death. The award is called the Bharat Ratna, and he received it for his bravery, determination, and kind-heartedness. Shastri's slogan recognized the need for self-sustenance and self-reliance to build a strong and successful independent nation. Shastri had strong willpower, but this was contrasted by his height and soft-spoken manner. Shastri believed in actions over words, and he wanted to be remembered for what he has achieved. Shastri is a title given to the scholars, and he earned it after completing his studies at the Kashi Vidyapith, Varanasi in 1925. Shastri was heavily inspired by Mahatma Gandhi to join the freedom struggle in India, and Mahatma Gandhi was his hero. And he was a freedom fighter that accelerated and promoted national freedom movement. Though the death of Lal Bahadur Shastri is said to be due to a massive heart attack, but there are controversies about the death, and some people believe that some reports say that he was poisoned to death, but still the official statements need to be confirmed, and it remains still a mystery since long time. So he became prime minister through hard work and his contributions to better India as an independent nation. So let's pay tribute to the great freedom fighter and nationalist, to Lal Bahadur Shastri on this day. Today is also commemorated as National Custodian Day. In US, the work while we sleep, sometimes we walk around them in the halls, not always seeing them or their work as important. That's why we love this day, National Custodian Day, which rolls every year, October 2nd. It recognizes the hard work that it takes to keep our public facilities into top shape, as well as the people who diligently work, often at low wages, to make sure they have schools and workplaces that are spotless and sanitary. Custodians are our first line of defense of war on germs, and often it is a thankless task. So, on National Custodian Day, show your appreciation to the custodians who clean the office and buildings or schools that you frequent. As far as we concerned, custodians are the hardest working people in show business. It's a simple thing to do, commending your custodian to his or her supervisor, but so very important when you consider that most custodians lead hard lives, making very little money. If you like the job your custodian do, contact their supervisor either with a call, email, or text to let them know how much you appreciate your custodian's hard work. Or more simply, write a note and have several other employees sign it, stick it on the wall where it's sure to be seen by the custodian supervisor, and you will have given your custodian not only a great day but also the possibility to raise during the next review. Send out an email blast inviting your co-workers to help you celebrate National Custodian Day. Be sure to send beautiful hand-delivered invitations to the custodians and their supervisor. Ask everyone who signs up to commit to bringing a dish. Bonus points if you can turn the festivities into a surprise as the custodians walk into the potluck party. The company, Forpo, has released a UV light that attaches to the underside of the toilet lid in order to keep things sterilized after every use, as nobody likes a dirty toilet. There's a volcano in the microwave. The eruption disruption microwave cleaner is designed to help release built-up grime and grease from inside your microwave just by filling the device up with vinegar and letting it cook for a few minutes. There are a number of self-cleaning hairbrushes that trap hair until you release a button located in the back of the brush. Trust us, your bathroom floors will thank you. Thanks to the Sun Pentown, a countertop dishwasher is now available for all those of us who live in tiny spaces. The Lenspen Sidekick uses a unique cleaning blend to effortlessly wipe away fingerprints that are all over your favorite touchscreens. So being a custodian is sometimes a thankless job. That's why it is important on National Custodian Day to take time to show your appreciation to the custodians. We can get to reap the benefits of their hard work on nearly daily basis. So it's about time we thank them for all that they do. On a typical day, we may not notice if we accidentally throw a paper towel on the floor or leave a plastic water bottle behind a table, but that changes on the National Custodian Day when we stop and remember that someone has to come and clean up after the mess we make. So there's a good chance we'll put forth a little extra effort to tidy up after ourselves. So having a restroom stocked with soap and toilet paper may be something that's taken for granted on a daily basis. So National Custodian Day makes us stop and appreciate these little details. The next time you walk in through the office and notice that the ground isn't littered with staples or small scraps of paper, remember that a custodian was there taking care of the mess of you. Today is also commemorated as National Fried Scallops Day in US. October is a treasure trove of the month of celebrating food, and this October 1st have been celebrated as World Vegetarian Day, and we have this entire month to go on vegetarian diet, vegetarian month. Today is also commemorated as National Name Your Car Day in US. Name your little red coverty swiftly or see what happens. National Name Your Car Day every year on October 2nd pays homage to those of us who love our rides so much we name them. Although it sounds crazy, studies reveal that when we name inanimate objects like our cars, we assign almost human like attributes that make us feel more in control. National Name Your Car Day is at another demonstration of the love that we Americans have our rights. So, or for that matter, every nation has pride in vintage cars. So, jump in, build, and take off. Today is also commemorated as National Produce Misting Day in US, observed each year on October 2nd. Across USA, National Produce Misting Day is a day to recognize the innovation of keeping fruits and vegetables fresh. Misting innovations make sure that produce remains crisp, hydrated, and nutrient dense. We all love fresh produce, and nothing tastes as nice as farm fresh fruits and vegetables. While not all of us have the privilege to eat directly from farms, well misted produce is the only way to ensure that what we eat is always fresh and healthy. Eating fresh produce is also simplest way to ensure that your body is getting the best of nutrients. Today, we cannot imagine a supermarket without misting systems, but therefore, before automatic misting systems were a thing, grocers had to throw away produce that would get stale or rotten easily. This was easily common during the summer months. Those in the business strongly discouraged the wastage of food, especially the first example of misting was grocers soaking burlap potato sacks in water. These sacks were laid over the stacks overnight. Their wet sacks kept the fruits and vegetables from drying out and keep their fresh taste. The techniques also kept the cheeses fresh and moist. However, the task was tiring and labor intensive. Eventually, there was a need to build an automatic misting system. In 1979, the first automatic misting system was developed. This timely invention essentially revolutionized the grocery world and how we consume food. Since misting is no longer a rigorous task, it's easy to find fruits and vegetables with extended shelf life. Longer lives of fresh produce also meant that the transportation of it became easy and the consumer could now have more varieties of produce to buy at the grocery store. Today is also commemorated as National Report Long-Term Acute Care Hospital Fraud Day in US. National Report Long-Term Acute Care Hospital Fraud Day has been observed on October 2nd since 2017, when the HESC Film LLC established it. The holiday also raises public awareness about the extent of Medicare fraud and provides specific instructions for reporting long-term care fraud. LTCH fraud, Medicare fraud impacts every American, and with appropriately 10% of the Medicare budget being lost to the crime, it's necessary for us all to know about and stop LTCH fraud. Medicare fraud occurs when a person claims a Medicare health care reimbursement they are not authorized for. There are numerous types of Medicare fraud, all with the same goal: illegally taking funds from the Medicare program. According to the Office of Management and Budget, Medicare improper payments totaled $6.7 billion for evaluation and management in 2010. In 2006, healthcare entrepreneur Adam Resnick sued Omnicare, a major supplier of nursing home medications and other involved in company's illegal kickback operations. Under the False Claims Act, Omnicare agreed to pay federal government $98 million in November 2009 to settle 5 False Claims Act Quantum whistleblower cases. So today is also commemorated as Yom Kippur, otherwise known as Day of Atonement, is considered holiest day in Judaism, typically observed with fasting and prayer in alignment with the themes of atonement and repentance. On Yom Kippur, people observing this day are asked to abstain from food and drink as well as bathing and marital relationships. In turn, is encouraged that people spend this day asking God's forgiveness for their sins and donating to charity. Today is also commemorated as Guinea Independence Day in Guinea, which takes place on October 2nd every year. There is no better way to honor its independence than by highlighting its rich traditions and culture. And the country was under French rule for years until its president had the foresight to make a decision that would change its history, set it part of the independent nation. The day is all about Guinea and its people, history, and culture. Today, 61 countries are still under colonial rule. War and conflict are also reasons why some countries have not yet been able to gain independence. However, Guinea is an exception. It had a very tumultuous history under the French colonial rule, but became free and sovereign. The country was part of the former French colonial empire for over a century before becoming a protectorate in August 1849. Being a protectorate means that it was still controlled and protected by another state. It wasn't until 1904 that the Guinea became a constituent territory of French West Africa. It would remain under the foreign state until 1958 when it became independent due to implosion of the French Fourth Republic. Independence Day is celebrated with much pride and is a national holiday in Guinea. Today is also commemorated as Guardian Angel Day that comes around once in a year on October 2nd. It is a day that seeks to recognize the protective roles that guardian angels have in our lives. The Catholics also celebrate this memorial of holy guardian angels on the feast of guardian angels, and there is a lot to celebrate on a day like this for them. So finally, today we are celebrating Vijayadashmi or Dasara, which is the 10th day and the last day of Durga Puja. This year, it's October 2nd. All over India, Hindus and Hindu diaspora celebrate across the world this auspicious day in many different ways. Some parts it is the day of Goddess Durga killed the demon Mahishasur. After 9 days of Navratri, the festival culminates with the immersion of the idols of Durga. This was also the day of King Rama, an avatar of Vishnu, killed Ravana. the 10-headed demon. To celebrate the legend, huge effigies of Ravana are burnt and with it burns all evil. Vijayadashami is the eternal promise that good will always vanquish evil. So Vijayadashmi is celebrated every year at the end of Navratri. This celebration is on the 10th day of the Hindu calendar, month of Ashwin, which typically falls in September or October. Vijayadashmi or Dasra has several different legends associated with it, with the common theme being the victory of good over evil. It is often reported that the story of Rama's victory over Ravana can be traced as far back as 5114 BC and beyond. This famous Hindu celebration and commemoration says that the eighth incarnation of Lord Vishnu, Lord Rama, killed the 10-headed devil Ravana. Lord Rama, along with his brother Lakshmana and follower Hanuman, trekked to Ravana's kingdom to fight him and bring back Sita, the Rama's partner, wife. On their way, Rama prayed to Durga and was eventually victorious. It was from around 1500 BC and earlier that the first Durga Puja celebrations are mentioned, with these in Dinajpur and Malda. These celebrations often draw upon goddess Durga assassination of the demon Mahishas. UNESCO inscribed the performance of arts tradition during Vijayadashmi as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity in 2008. For some, Vijayadashmi marks the end of the Durga Puja, and they remember the goddess Durga's victory by Shastra to restore and protect Dharma. For others, Vijayadashmi remembers God Rama's victory over Ravan. Traditional ways to celebrate include processions to a river or ocean, during which people carry statues of Sarga, Lakshmi, and Ganesha as they chant and listen to music. The festival also starts preparation for Diwali, the festival of lights, which comes 20 days after Vijayadashmi. Vijayadashmi, also known as Dasra, is its purest sense in its celebration of victory of good over evil. The various parts of the Indian subcontinent celebrate the festival for different reasons. The different avatars of goddess Durga are celebrated over a 9-day period. These are goddess Shailaputri, day 1, goddess Brahmacharini, day 2, goddess Chandragrahanta, day 3, goddess Kushmanda, day 4, goddess Kandamata, day 5, goddess Katyayani, day 6, goddess Kalratri, day 7, goddess Mahagauri, day 8, and goddess Siddhatri, day 9. So Kullu is the place where Dasra festival is most famously celebrated in a grand manner with pomp and glory. During the fair, you can enjoy displays of idols, foods, handicrafts, and enactment of Ram Leela. Mostly all of them end with ceremonial burning of Ravana effigy that might also include a fireworks display. So attend a Dasra fair. The epic Ramayana is also available in many languages. It's a fascinating legend, a history to read about the life of King Rama. So during Vijayadashmi, special events are held in temples, rituals that anyone can attend. Immersing the idol of Vijayadashmi symbolizes how a deity moves from formless clay to the form the idol, and then again to formless in water, bringing a balance of nature and cosmic energy. Kullu Dasara is famous, which is of Himachal Pradesh in India, is an international festival where 5 lakh people from all over the world come to participate in the festivities. Most importantly, Vijayadashmi is about spiritual growth. There is a battle between good and evil inside each one of us, and we must strive to conquer the inner negativity. The great conqueror Ashoka converted to Buddhism on Vijayadashmi, vowing never to lift a weapon again. So Ashoka also became a Buddhist on this day. Ravana's 10 heads represent his knowledge of the 6 Shastras and 4 Vedas, but some say they stand for 10 human vices that we must symbolically burn in our quest for salvation. See, both are true. The good side is the 6 Shastras and 4 Vedas. The evil side is the 10 human vices. So we have to burn 10 human vices and keep the divine knowledge, the Shastras and Vedas, and use it for good purpose. It reaffirms our faith in the fact that evil cannot win. Though it may look like temporarily it is winning, but finally the win is for the good. And a divine power is watching over us and guarding us. Though we have to go through hard times, but ultimately it is a fruit of patience, resilience that gives us a victory at the end. Rama killing Ravana is a symbolic too, with Ravana's 10 heads representing 10 human vices. This is a time to pray that conquer our weakness. In many parts of the southern India, young children are introduced to learning on this day. In fact, a great day to begin any project, any program, or buy any new vehicle or equipment and so on. So it is not always starting, you can even continue what you are doing so that its continuity is maintained and you are persistent on what you are doing, which you have been already doing. So with this, we shall end today's commemorations. Thank you everyone for joining us. We wish you all happy Dasra and may Goddess Sri Durga Mata bless you with the prosperity, health, well-being and development. So we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form which has been raised in the form of polls before leaving the platform. See you all tomorrow at the same time with the same joining link with different commemorations. And on coming October 5th, as we are celebrating World Teachers Day, we are organizing an international seminar, and also we are planning to honor teachers who are self-nominating or someone nominating themselves. As the time is short, we have circulated the registration form, which is also a registration cum nomination form for all the teachers and also for the participants, presentations and nominations for awards. So you can nominate yourself, you can fill all the details and upload your employee ID card that you are still on service, and you can also upload the resume with all your details and credentials. And if you are unable to upload, then you have also a field where you can create a Google Drive and folder and put all the files there, and you can share the Google Drive link instead of uploading the files. So even that can be done, and it will be scrutinized, and all the nominations will receive a appreciation certificate, and those who are eligible will receive award certificate for their immense contributions to whatever field they have been doing as teachers. And all the participants will be getting participation certificate too. So we encourage everyone, all the teachers especially, to nominate yourself, register yourself. And it's an opportunity to recognize on this international platform and receive the honors on the World Teachers Day. And participants also mark your attendance, participate in large numbers and support our teachers And there is no geographical limit across the world. Any teacher from any part of the world can register themselves, and ensure that as early as possible you are registering so that we can prepare the details and prepare certificates in advance so that on the day we can issue on the platform itself. That would be, along with your awards. And again, so try to submit your nominations and try to register as early as possible within a day or two, and spread this word to everyone so that everyone is appreciated and honored on this wonderful occasion. So thank you once again, everyone, for joining us on this occasion. So we request once again to fill the feedback form before leaving the platform. Those who have filled the feedback form can leave the platform. So see you all tomorrow at the same time, the same joining link with different commemorations and celebrations. Take care. Good night. Happy Dasra once again.